pressure, read all about it. Get your copies while they last. Stop the presses.
And now for something completely different.
Are you ready for a little truth? Are we not entertained? Wisdom is the proper use of knowledge and experience. There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. It's showtime! So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into. Now that's entertainment. Enlighten me a little. What you say is quite logical. And what did we learn? Prepare yourself for a little sensory overload. I came here for the truth. 7 years ago. Stand by the roll show intro. Roll show intro in 3, 2, 1, go.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Hello, America, friends, family, listeners, all over this planet we call Earth. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show, and I am Craig L. Hayes. Today's date is June 7th, 2024. And today's continuation is going to be a continuation of the topic of the Constitution of the United States, particularly the Bill of Rights. We've already covered the First, Second, and Third Amendment. Today we're going to go on to the Fourth Amendment. Very important, especially how governments just love to violate this amendment to our Constitution and violate your rights, particularly police, district attorneys, judges. They all seem to think that the government is the most important and powerful entity in the world, and they need to do whatever they have to do to secure their convictions or whatever their desires are. So let's go ahead and read a little bit about the Fourth Amendment. We're just going to read through it first, and then we're going to come back and pick it apart a little bit. It reads, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." It sounds so very simple. These guys just put together such a simple, and why did they do it so simply for all of us, even 200 and almost 50 years later, to understand? But we just don't understand it. Particularly our judges, so many of them are just so corrupt. Anyways, let's read the first part of it. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, meaning whatever's on your body, they cannot just go through your purse, they can't go through your wallet, they can't grab anything in your pockets. Houses, they have to have a warrant to come into your house and do any searching. Papers. Now, papers, since everything was on papers back in those days, can also be defined today as whatever's on your phone, whatever's on your computer. That's why they threw in, papers and effects. Who knew back then what would be writing on? They had no idea what things would be, so they included that little caveat to help this future and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. We've had a lot of court cases over the years define what is and isn't uh, allowed in searches and seizures. I have watched a lot of police videos where the police will walk up to somebody merely walking down the street and filming cars going by, or filming buildings, or filming airplanes flying over, trains going by, and the police walk up to them saying, "Hey, I need your ID." What's wrong with that? They just want to know who you are and why you're filming. And they always want to throw it back on you, like you need to defend what you're doing, even though you have a First Amendment right to walk down the street filming anything in public, from public accessible uh, roads, sidewalks, public buildings, unless they say no admittance, no cameras allowed inside such a courthouse or inside a government building that's got to be secure from prying eyes because of important or classified or personal documents, information, etc. But they always come up to you and they want your ID. Just asking for it does not violate the Fourth Amendment. We need to make that very clear. Just asking you for your ID does not violate it, because you have the right then to say, no, I'm exercising my Fourth Amendment right, and I'm not going to allow you to violate it just by asking me to surrender my right and give it to you. What is your, and this is the ruling, Terry v. Ohio, what is your reasonable, articulable suspicion that I have committed a crime, I am about to commit a crime, or you have watched me commit a crime? If they have none of those, other than, oh, well, you're just kind of suspicious, you can tell them, kick rocks. They have no right to that. If they go, you look like the guy that we just saw take and rob the bank down the street, okay, now they probably have the cause to take and find out who you are. But people, do not surrender your rights, the First Amendment, to film things, to say what you wish, all because tyrannical police or judges or anybody else that thinks that they have authority over you. Remember, these people are your servants. They are your servants. They are no more than a butler, a maid, a gardener at your house. They are your servants. And they should be given some respect because they are taking on a very difficult job, but you do not have to acquiesce to anything that they ask for or anything they want to do. You have rights, especially your First Amendment, freedom of speech. You can, if you desire, to be a total jerk and call the police every name in the book. They can do nothing about that. They try to retaliate. But if they do, then they violate your rights, and then you end up having to take and get a big fat paycheck from the city, the state, or from them personally. The Fourth Amendment does not allow them to search you even. They can't even go into your pockets. If they go into your pockets and they pull out your wallet, they will probably end up losing their job. You will be able to sue them for violating your Fourth Amendment rights for everything that they have. The city, the state, or the police department will end up having to pay you huge checks. Do not give up your rights. Exercise your rights. And when they come up to you and they want to talk to you, say, I'm exercising my First Amendment right, my Fourth Amendment right, and my Fifth Amendment right, which we will discuss later. That one simply says, I don't have to talk to you and help you in your investigation or tell you any information I don't want to. In fact, it's probably best that if you have the opportunity, pull out your smartphone and record your interactions at all times with any officials, police, military police, um, any kind of law enforcement. And make sure you say, I am exercising my rights. Do not infringe on them. Now, if they do, you have a nice little case to take. And in this country, we've decided that the way that we compensate people for violating their rights or injury is through financial means. We decided we want to give people money to say we're sorry, to say we should not have done something. That's just the way it goes. If the police come knock on your door, and they may say, here's something they like to say. Hi, we have a warrant for the arrest of Joe Blow. Okay. Well, he's not here. Well, we need to come in and search. No, do you have a search warrant? You have an arrest warrant. So if you see him walking down the street, you can arrest him. But do you have a search warrant to enter my property? If you don't, then you need to leave my property right away and make sure you film things like this. This is very important. Protect your rights. Your papers. Basically, any document you have. Your phone, you don't have to show them everything. Open up your phone and give it to them and let them go look through it without a warrant. Your computer, get a warrant. Have a judge say you have the right to take my computer, my phone, and anything else that I have on me. And speaking of warrants, we'll go down to the next line. No warrants shall issue upon probable cause. The police, the district attorneys, whoever it may be, has to have a reason why they're going to take and enter your house, search you, go into anything that they want to do. And it has to be specific. As a founding father said, supported by oath or affirmation. Okay, this is very simple. They want to have a judge or someone in authority affirm that this is correct, that the police are allowed to do this. But then it says, and particularly describing the place to be searched or the persons or things to be seized. There are no such things as a general warrant. There's a big difference between a warrant that is supported by the Fourth Amendment, and it has to be specific, and a general warrant. General warrants are not recognized by the Constitution of the United States. The Fourth Amendment actually stands against a general warrant. And here's a general warrant. Back in the time of the King George, when he ruled this country, he could either put soldiers in your house to spy on you, as we found out in the Third Amendment, or they could just have a general warrant. He could send a general warrant to the governor of the state and say, here, we want you to just go look inside this guy's house and see if you can find anything whatsoever that he may be doing wrong in any way, shape, or form. We don't know really anything about it, but just take a good look around and, see if you can find something on him. That's called a general warrant. We don't allow those things. We don't allow any form of general warrant due to just exactly that. We don't want the police, just wandering around your house, going through every drawer, just saying, I wonder if they have anything that's bad in this house. They may have a a warrant to seize, let's just say, a computer because they think that you were looking at child porn. Do they have the right to take and go, if it says seize the computer, seize the phone, or anything such as that, they can take that. Now, do they have a right to turn the whole house upside down and then find that you have, let's say, I don't know, a half an ounce of marijuana in your nightstand, and then arrest you for that too? No. The warrant was specific. It said phones and it said computers. It did not say turn the whole room upside down, destroy the place, and then try to find something else. In other countries, this is fine. It's not in ours. This is why we have a Bill of Rights, to stop tyrant cops, tyrant district attorneys, and tyrant governments from violating your rights. Your rights that were given to you by God. Nobody else but by God. So, what have we learned a little bit here on the Fourth Amendment, other than to exercise it and don't let it be infringed upon or violated? We are seeing these rights all being dismantled, especially by this government at this time in 2024, all the way from the President of the United States through his Justice Department, which is nothing more than what I call a Gestapo for the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party Gestapo. The way rights are being violated would make Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, Castro, and any other dictator around the world smile with envy what they're able to get away with. Do not give up your rights. Hold firm and do not surrender them. When you have interactions with the police, pull out your phone and video everything. And always inform them you're exercising your rights, and your rights are not to be violated, and you do not grant any searches or seizures. If they do it anyway, you're going to have a nice fat paycheck. And they will probably get fired for their time doing that. People, read the Constitution. Know your rights. There is a reason why your rights and the Bill of Rights and the Constitution are not taught in school anymore. They do not want you to know them. They want you to be nothing more than a bunch of sheep that do what they're told by authority. They have no authority other than what we have granted them. They are your servants. Never forget that the police and anybody who works for your tax dollars is your servant. They should be treated with human respect, but you do not have to treat them as your Lord and Master. You are the master. Well, that's it for the Fourth Amendment. Tomorrow we're going to move on to the Fifth Amendment. So very important. So very important. Every one of these in some way is so important to our lives. And I hope you can join me with the next installment of the Bill of Rights on the Craig L. Hay Show.